All right, it is 4:30 on Thursday afternoon, Central Standard Time, and this is the ad agency, and I am Mike Farley, and I'm heading up. And so, whether we've got people on or not, I'm going to be holding these at least once a month, maybe more than that, where I have a Q&A or just me pontificating about something that I think may be of interest to you and be helpful to you. Ultimately, the point of the ad agency is so that you can grow in your career in this profession and have some fun and make some friends and laugh and all that sort of good stuff. But ultimately, hopefully get you where you think you want to go. If there's one thing though that I've learned is the route is almost never A to B. It is A to B through C, D, E, F, all the way to Z and back to B. So you'll be surprised by some of the moves that you make. And if you're open to that, then maybe you're in the right calling. So very quickly, so what I'm going to do is the normal nature of this call. I'll do a little breakdown of what's going on in the community itself, leaderboard and what we're doing. And then I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks, and we'll close with kind of a critique. But again, if I've got people on right now, I've got nobody on. Oh, I'm all alone. Not a big deal. We've only got a few people. So let's jump on our screen share to my desktop and see if that works out. And I am still not figuring out how to, there we go. Hey, it only lets me go so big. It knows I might break the screen. So this is ad agency homepage, community, classroom, calendar, members, leaderboard, all that stuff. As you can see, there's only 19 here. There's only 2 people in that group who are online right now. Obviously, I am one of them, and I am the one admin right now. That may change over time. Again, that you're here and understanding it, or if you're viewing this later since this is in essence a podcast, the start here thing, which is always pinned up to the top, is just an easy way to start to learn. You click on the start here and it takes you within the classroom to the very first tour of the ad agency, and you can follow the steps. Yep, I want you to get the app on your phone. You can take a tour. So I've walked you through the basics of what was going on, how to move up levels, and what you can do in introducing yourself to the group. Kind of a fun way to do that. And frankly, in introducing yourself, putting this post up here is almost a guarantee that you can move from level 1 to level 2. And at level 2, other things unlock in the classroom. You'll want to check out the classroom, and then you want to get on this Zoom call. So all that stuff is right there. If I click over to the classroom, you can see that this is the start here section we were just in. There's already a couple of things in there. There's a piece on branding and logos and usage and whatnot that are pretty basic, but good to know and good to see in there. This is just a simple, quick breakdown. You'll see here there's a lot more to come. I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of stuff as we go on, but I'm not, because I'm not charging anything right now. I'm trying to get my ducks in a row and add those pieces of the puzzle as I've got them. And this call is one of them. If I go back here, so interviews right now, there's just the one interview in here. Pat Laughlin is a good friend of mine, is the CCO of Laughlin Constable in Milwaukee, top small ad agency in the country by ad age. Just really a great team of people. And so I chat with him in a Zoom call and try to bring up topics that are hopefully you should look at that. This is the guy that most of us wanted to be, doing TV spots, working with great clients, having lots of fun, started out as a copywriter, a lot of interesting stuff in there. Try to pack it into 30 minutes. Of course, we're ad people, so it never goes 30 minutes. Why run a spot for 29 seconds when today you can run it for 2 minutes? So there's that. There's going to be a bunch more. I know lots of people, and I'm suckering them all in to be interviewed by me so that you can understand who these people are, how you interact with them. Maybe you will interact with them. Maybe you'll get a job from one of them. Maybe you'll get a job from me. Who knows? So that's kind of how it is. There's a calendar section right now. This is the only one, and I did move it. Normally, we're going to try to run this, I think I did it on Mondays or Tuesdays, and then I moved it to Thursday because I got a fire that I had to put out. So some of that happens. Here's members. You can go in here and you can chat with a member. You can click on somebody, whoever Jenny is, and give her a little shout out. What I don't want, the rules, if you will, are, hey, just be a good community member. Get in here, and the way to do this is you want to give to get. Everybody's got their own issues on what they want to get out of this. And I want you to get what you want out of it, whether it's money, fame, fortune, all the rest of that stuff. But the way to do it is here. It's within the community and posting. So here's Brian. He put a post. This is great. The art along copy. He just wanted to showcase something that he had seen or found and has got some comments to it. And so I chimed in there on something. If we go down the ways, most of this is me putting stuff in here, and I think it's all good stuff. And so what I want you to do, and I'm getting ahead of myself, is this leaderboard. So you saw the members, but the leaderboard, it's gamified in Skool. So if you are in the top in the 30-day at the end of the month, at the very end of the month by midnight, that'll determine who is our 30-day winner for each month. And this past month, Alvis was the winner. He had the most, he still has the most here, but you can see it sort of resets after every 7 days kind of thing. And you get to see where it's coming from. I'm going to send Alvis a $50 gift card. So Alvis hasn't paid me a damn dime, and I'm going to give him $50. So if you want to get in here and frankly just enjoy yourself and post some things, I want you to like others if you like it. The reason for the gamification, quite honestly, and that it's so different than any other social platform is, in essence, we are building the community. So the good posts get liked. And if you're a troll, I will fire you. But if you're adding something, if you want to critique and you want to get critical of something, I don't have a problem with that at all. And if you want to get a little sassy with the language, I don't have a problem with that at all until it turns ugly. I don't want ugliness. I don't want crazy politics. I don't want that stuff. I want people who want to help other people succeed. And if you know something, you got a reaction to a TV spot, a print ad, graphic design, whatever it is, all that stuff within the industry, you've got an insight, please share it. I'm going to be doing so. I'm 62 years old. I've been in this business a long time. I started out as a pup in a graphic design shop, moved to an ad agency, realized I wanted to have the creative director's job, moved my way up through that, then ultimately went off on my own and have been doing so basically for the last 25 years. And it has worked out for me. And so I want you to learn from me. And I've got lots of insights, but there's plenty of people in here who probably got some great insights as well. So I want you to make the best of that. Back to that classroom so you can see there's other stuff in here. I'm going to be adding a whole bunch of things. Some of these things, if you look at it, you won't be able to get into. And I am going to be putting in, hey, let's make you some money. There are some great tips, and I'm going to give you some of those here today. And how to win at freelancing, if that's your gig. And if you're in the agency, what is it that you can do? The CD's office is basically my playland. Nobody gets in here but me when I'm trying to work out some of the things that I'm going to put into the classroom. So, all right, let's let that go, and we'll jump right into the next things. Let's see. Stop my screen share, so I'll go back to me. So what I want to talk about is, for many of you, whether you are working at an agency, you probably have got a little sidelight gig, or maybe you're a freelancer currently, or you're running a small firm and you are trying to build it. Let's talk about getting a client. It's probably the hardest thing that we think about, or it scares us the most. Most of us who are in here are creative people who were not salespeople, at least didn't think of ourselves in that way. And so, or if you're a graphic designer, you don't think of yourself that way. But ultimately, this industry is about selling something, whether it's selling a product, a brand, selling a service, or selling an idea. I think there's a lot. I think back in my day, it was like the of the 50 top professions that you could go into, which had the most integrity. And at that time, it was like, professor or preacher or something. And in today's terms, I think ad guy was like 31st. It was maybe one step above used car salesman. That may still be the case, but what I wanted to talk to you about is so how are you going to go and get new business? This business is a referral business. So you already know people. And one of the great things about LinkedIn, one of the things I think is an even better thing about Skool than LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great, right? We can basically reach out to just about anybody if they're on Skool. But most people reach out in stupid ways. They basically vomit on people, right? You've gotten that one where now that we're, first level friends, and the very first thing that I do is make some kind of pitch. Hey, have you seen my great portfolio and blah blah? It's like, no, I don't care. Be of service to me. The best way to get people is to give. And frankly, that may mean give it for free. What I mean, for many of us, our secret ambition is we want to be Steven Spielberg. We want to direct movies. We want to write screenplays, or we want to do that kind of stuff. What would you give right now to be on the set of, a Hollywood director, big budget, or even a Wes Anderson or whoever it is, to just be there, to be the fly on the wall? You'd pay money to go there. That'd be like the best education you could get. Well, there's nothing stopping you from doing that now, is picking out people and saying, hey, I will do something, and not to be a sucker pro bono that agencies do that. Oftentimes agencies do that. Why? Because they're going to take their pro bono stuff and do the outrageous thing that no other client lets them do because they're doing it for free. And so it's going to go into the award show. And it's one of the cheats of the award show that it's not a cheat in the sense that if it won an award because it was hilarious, it was moving, it was touching, it really moved the needle. That would be awesome and great. But it's the cheat in the agency of we couldn't make a super funny spot for our main client. And I know the feeling. I grew up on, I did a bunch of stuff for General Mills, which is Cheerios and Wheaties and whatnot. And there's big budgets in there. But when I first started out, and I didn't know it at the time, I was just excited at the agency I was at, and they had a number of different accounts. And so they gave me honey nut clusters. If you've ever seen a honey nut clusters ad, it was a little squirrel who went and gathered nuts and things. Um, he didn't last long, but I did my damnedest to make that squirrel stick. And people would chuckle and say, "What is it that you got? Do you have Yoplait? Do you have, do you at least have, like apple cinnamon Cheerios?" It's like, no, I haven't made it that far until finally I could get to something bigger. And the thing that was funny about that is, as you got to the big accounts on that kind of account, it was the creative was worse than having the no budget. The no budget forced you to be creative, and the big budget meant that you had 18 people in the conference room, and there's no way that your really clever idea is getting out of there alive. It's just not. And so when you finally meet a client, talk to Dan Wyden one time of Wyden and Kennedy, on tell me about having Nike as a client. And basically he said, it's as good as you think it is, right? And it's the dream kind of client where you've got all the money and time and people who want your very best work. So that'd be neat stuff. But so back to, how are you going to get clients? The best things you can do, and the easiest, quickest thing, if you're in a panic and it's like the rent needs to be paid next Tuesday, is how am I going to get this warm call? Where's the referral coming from? So whether that's parents or your friends or colleagues or mentors or frankly, who are your current clients? Ask them. It's like, listen, am I doing a decent job for you? And hopefully they say, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing fine. Whatever. It's like, well, if I am, can I ask something of you? This is where the aw shucks Midwestern thing for me, for you, certainly can come in. Some people have got the gift of gab to really lay it out thick. I don't come off that way. And I like to be a little under. And so I will say, hey, do you mind if I ask something of you? Well, who's going to say no to that? And like, listen, if I'm doing a good job, is there somebody else in your circle of friends who you think could benefit from some of the stuff that I'm doing? I'd love to meet them. Just say that. And you'd be surprised. You might get 1, 2, 3 names. It doesn't mean that they need anything right now, but mark those names down and give them a call, and almost right away, you almost can't do it fast enough, and say, hey, John Doe, I do some work for him. I don't know if you knew that. And he gave me your name, said that maybe I could be of some service to you. And if you want to talk to John about, what I do or what I've done for him, be my guest. But I'd love to come and see you next Tuesday, right? Pick a date, pick a time, pick something specific. Where we go wrong and where the sales guys who work get it right is they're not afraid, in essence, what they say, of ask for the order. And sometimes the order is just a day and a time to meet. Instead of don't be the wimpy part is, well, what would be good for you? And what is leaving it open-ended. Don't. Just put something out there, because if it's not going to work for them, they'll tell you. No, I can't meet on Tuesday. But it could meet on Thursday. Like, oh, perfect. And maybe your Thursday is completely wide open, or maybe you've got a bunch going on, but it's like, what, I'd really like to see this guy. So you've got a choice there. If that happens, then one, you can, whatever time he says, you're there and you will reschedule the other thing. Or two, if you want to be a little ballsy, let's say that your Thursday is cooked. And so he says Thursday, and you're like, I'd love to. I really would love to, but I am booked solid. But my Friday morning or my Saturday or my Monday or whatever it is, something that you can come over, just pick another day. Let's just say that Thursday, you are working on some deadline and there's just no way that you're going to get off of it, or you want to, because that is money in the bank. That's a nice power position to be in, to let the guy know, oh, this is a busy guy. He's doing stuff, but he's given me the options to do this. So say that stuff. Be confident to be able to do that. Other things that you can do to find new business is, one, do you understand where your strongest industry knowledge is? What I mean by that is, I've worked on, in my case, I have worked on such an eclectic mix of clients that I don't know that there's an industry that I haven't worked in, whether it was construction or retail or shoes or food or a restaurant or from B to B to B to C. I'm all over the place. Most guys, when they get to my age, they silo. They get into one thing, and I should become the law guy, the legal expert, and I'm too ADD to do that. And frankly, what I found for some guys, that works great, and that's fine. And frankly, then jump into it and really work that. That's a good way to go. You have one small law firm that handles injury cases, then you don't want to probably get another law firm that has injury cases. Everybody likes to be kind of, but if you don't have a retainer with them, you don't owe them anything, but that may make them, well, why would I want to hire you if you're doing this for so-and-so? But if he's a lawyer in that, well, what about a corporate attorney? Or what about a tax attorney? What about, somebody else, hedge fund attorney? There's attorneys in so many different, in their own silos, but you've got some knowledge there, and that may be of some benefit to them. In the same token, if you're like me and you're scattered all over the place, then the next thing you might want to do is what is your strongest skill set? What is it that they can utilize most? Maybe you're a web guy, maybe you're a designer, maybe you're a package designer. You're many things, right? I've designed logos and packages and brochures and catalogs. I've done TV spots and radio and billboards and whatever. But my strength in terms of what's in my book or what's behind me is probably in brand development. So in logo design and how it applies across the entire milieu of their business, and helping guide them to understand what brand they actually have. So that's a good one for me. Another one is on entrepreneurs of guys who, so they need that service, but that also means, gee, I need a new website, or I needed a website period. So I'm strong in that, and have contacts. I build some myself, and others I get other people to do it. And then I'm also really strong in print. If they're going to have that, they might want a brochure. They're going to go to a trade show. They're going to do some of that stuff. So I get into kind of the strategy of those things. So frankly, if I was looking for a client right here and now, I might be looking at somebody who needs website, trade show help, all those kinds of things. If the strongest pieces of your book are package design, then go down to the grocery store and start taking a look at, and hardware store, and who are the people that need packaging help, and frankly pick out some pieces that are just atrocious in your eyes. And there's an easy one. Then go and find them on LinkedIn, find out who's the marketing manager, who's the owner, and they're all fair game. And maybe you just show them. It's like, hey, here's a before and here's an after. You've got mad Photoshop skills and you've got great design skills. Don't be afraid to play student on them, and in essence give it away. I used to be the guy doing this and hiding my paper, and now it's like, screw it, because here's the secret. So here's one of a great little tip. You can, if you had the most brilliant idea, right, then you want to protect it and trademark it. If you honestly were going to spend money on your own idea to trademark it and to protect it, then okay, don't give it away. But most of us don't, and we go, I'm not going to hire an attorney. I'm going to do this, but I've got this idea. So go to that guy, go to that gal, and say, here's this idea. I just really think it's great, and here's the reasons why. And frankly, just talking through the idea is not normally detailed enough that anybody really wants to steal it. And frankly, one of the lessons I learned is you almost would beg them to steal it. If they stole it and were able to move the ball a little, to use a football analogy, to move the ball just a few yards, what most people do is they get excited about an idea. They might take it forward. Most don't even take it anywhere. But if they moved it 2 or 3 yards, but then they're going to drop it because it's not their idea and it's not their passion. It's yours. But in their business case, if you have this really neat idea, the thing that will normally happen by you being honest and open about it and really giving them your best effort, what typically ends up happening at the end of that meeting is, you know what? Why don't you just handle it? And you'll get the assignment, you'll get the job. So that brings us to the money part of this. And that is, here's something, and I'm going to put a little separate thing on this, but I use this, there's an aw shucks kind of thing that's a great closer. The hard part oftentimes is you really want to know what the budget is, right? Let's just say you had a website that you thought you were going to build for this guy. You'd probably have an idea what you think they would pay for it. And if you're like me, you realize that, it's like somebody saying, well, how much for a website? It's like, well, it kind of depends on the website. Do you need a full e-commerce site? Do you just need a landing page? Is it something complex? Is it fit in my wheelhouse? What are we talking about here? And so you want to do your due diligence to try to figure out who are they, what would they spend, how might that work? And so get a feeling for that, right? Let's say it's the neighbor next door. Now be careful. The neighbor next door might be, old man Walton, who was driving around his old dumpy truck, but he's worth $1 billion. You come back and say, well, I wonder if I could do the site for like $1,000. And he's like, he'll say no, because you use too low. For a lot of young freelancers, what is it that you're worth? And so you want to have an idea. And so what I like to do is, you think you have a target. Let's just say that the target you thought that you could sell, and they didn't need this huge package. You could basically a Squarespace kind of site, something you could whip out in a weekend probably. So you're like, it'd be neat to get $5,000 for that. Okay, great. What would you take for it? What would be worth your time if it was basically just what you think it is, but you just didn't have any money? How low would you go? Let's say it was $1,000. Maybe for some of you, it's like, well, I'd do that for $500. There's a line in the sand. I'd do it for $1. No, I don't really want to do it for $1. That's not worth blowing a weekend for. $100? No, I don't think so. $500? I really could use the $500. You know what? Maybe I could sell him a lesser thing, right? But anyway, so you get the idea on the low end. Now pick a number that's a high end that might be his number. All right. And so one of the schools on that is 3 times whatever your thing is. Well, 3 times the thing I just said was, well, here $5,000 could be $15,000. In this case, I mean, for me, and I was thinking, and I've had these same thoughts, I'm going to say, you know, let me ask you, if you don't mind, here's the being nicey nice, right? If you don't mind, let me ask you the $64 question. And that phrasing is kind of what you want to say. Not $64,000 question, the $64 question. It's a number. It just means to them, okay, we're going to talk money now. And he's trying to be cute. And he doesn't know. But this guy definitely has an idea and has a budget. And there's a lot of different ways that they work their budget. But if I say that, you know, can I ask you what the budget is, what you have in mind for this? And my little secret is don't just leave it open-ended right there. I like to bring in to put those guide rails in there. So I will say, you know, what's your budget? And before I even give him a chance to answer it, it's like, I just want to let you know, you know, what building that website is, it could be so many different things, and I'm not sure what it is that you need. So I'm really just trying to understand whether you're looking at like the 5,000, I'll come out with the number that I think is his number, whether you want the $5,000 site or whether this is really the $30,000 or $50,000 site, or whether this is, you know, I need a quick thing that's done for $1,000. I can do all of it, but whatever number you tell me is your budget, I'm going to spend it all because you want to get the most value out of it. I'm going to stuff 20 pounds potatoes in your 10-pound sack, whatever it is. I'm going to give him that kind of thing so that he understands that these changes, and I've got stories to go along with it, where client who, you know, wanted a certain site, and next thing I knew, it's like, no, this is going to be like $100,000 site. Oh, okay. Well, that's not our budget. Well, then I don't even want to take the time to waste my time on giving you that answer if it was never even a possibility. But if he thinks that a $30,000 site is the answer, he might say 25, right? So now you can go back to the drawing board and go, well, maybe I will 25. Maybe, and you look at it, it's like, I can do it for 17. Okay, great. Grab it for 17. You just made an extra 12. Neat. Right. So it's things like that you can't be afraid to, but you can kind of guide them a little bit. But then once you say that number, it's like, well, I'm just trying to figure out, because there's so much more I could do at 30 than there is at 10 or 5. But I can still make you a great site at 1,000. So you've given him the option. So he's going to come back out of here. He's got to read his own mind and say, well, yeah. And normally what they'll do is they'll give you a range. It's like, I don't know, like 8 to 10. And you're like, great, just say great, whatever it is, $2,000, great. That tells me something. And now it leads to a new discussion. So that's a way that you can start to close that business and just close that little hole. All right, let me get to the last part here because we're at 28 minutes. And I wanted to jump, I'm going to go back to screen share. And I don't know whether this will play properly or not, but hopefully so. I just wanted, it's Super Bowl season, right? And so I wanted to go back to some Super Bowl ads and just kind of do a little quickie critique or let you enjoy them back when, you know, some spots that I think were really, really effective spots. And I'm going to tell you a little bit why. So we might go just a little bit long. So this one, I had to go back and check when it aired. But this spot, you might remember, maybe you don't. I don't know how young you are. Reebok from the Arnell group, who I'm not really very familiar with, but Reebok, hell, do they even make shoes anymore? Trying to break into the top 3. And so they came out during the Super Bowl in 2003. And for you folks in Tampa, you'll love that because that's when the Buccaneers beat the Raiders. But this is Terry Tate, offensive linebacker. Let's take a listen.
When we asked Reebok to send us Terry Tate, some people thought we were crazy. But I'm a firm believer in paradigm breaking, outside the box thinking.
Hey, buddy.
Break
was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
And since Terry's been with us, our productivity has gone up 46%. We're getting more from our employees than ever before.
You know you need a cover sheet on your TPS reports, Richard. That ain't new, baby.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Janice.
But what's really impressed me is how Terry's become part of the Felcher family.
Get high, baby.
He fits right in here.
That's a long distance call, Doug.
To be honest, I wish Reebok sent us 10 Terry Tates.
You want to play games, Gene? Well, when it's game time, it's pain time, baby. Woo!
So that's 20 years ago, and it's still funny. I'm a football guy, so it really speaks to me, but we're in the big game. Why more spots aren't football related and really trying to find a way to utilize the game. This one just is phenomenal. I love the he just completely clotheslines the guy, and Janice comes walking by and she says, "Hey Terry," it's just the casual, "Hey Janice," and then goes right back to it. What a beautiful direction on this, and just fantastic. It really jumps a lot of different curbs from our office space and how boring and straightforward it is. Even the Mr. Felcher guy, is like the bean counter who's going to tell you about how Terry is one of the teams. So pretty neat there. I want to go back to the original, maybe best Super Bowl spot that really kind of started things moving in the Super Bowl era. Goes all the way back to 1980. Hopefully some of you have seen this. You should see it. This is from McCann Erickson, one of the larger agencies in the world at the time. This is the Mean Joe Green. Mean Joe Green was a football player for the Steelers, and he had a nasty reputation. He was fantastic, all-pro guy, super defensive end guy, just strike fear into hearts of quarterbacks all over the league. And it just so happened that the Steelers made it to the Super Bowl and won. And Mean Joe was in the game. And so this played just short of the halftime.
Please, get him out.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help? I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
A Coke and a smile makes me feel good, makes me feel nice.
Be around.
That's the way it should be. I like to see
Hey, kid.
the whole world smiling with me. Coca-Cola as life. Have a Coke and
Thanks, Mean Joe.
smile.
That's a Don Draper special, if I've ever seen one, right? You get the music, the jingle, the whole thing. But the point of that spot is brilliant. A cute little kid, and Mean Joe's going to be Mean Joe. I love how they have him finish the Coke in one setting. The kid's going to turn. Mean Joe is just that, and then he tosses him the jersey, right? The music and whatnot for us today can't help but feel a little 70s dated because it is. But if that spot played today, how would it be viewed? And is there an NFL player who lives up to that billing? I'm not sure that there is. Sometimes you get a special athlete. That's the Jordans of the world. Sometimes you get a special celebrity who their own presence is enough. Now, Joe Green hadn't done many spots, but boy, that was so well positioned and really thought through. And so at a time before there really were big Super Bowl spots, that one cut through the clutter and had everybody talking. The last one is the one that I've already explained in the community, but I just thought at Super Bowl time, to me, it's the OG of Super Bowl spots, and that really changed the era of Super Bowl spots. And I'm referring to the Apple 1984 spot, and I just wanted to play it in full. and take you back, because I go back to this. I saw this live on TV. I saw when it came out. And in 1984, I'm a senior in college. And I remember seeing it I'm at my parents' home. I'm home for Christmas Day, I think at the time, probably the Super Bowl was earlier. I don't remember being back at school. I'm at home. I know kind of right where I am. I see my parents' TV room and that kind of thing. And I almost changed the channel. And then this first image came up, and I am a big sci-fi kind of guy and fantasy and all that stuff, Lord of the Rings to Star Wars to all of it. And so when this first came up, it visually got my attention. This is Ridley Scott. This is not that long after Alien. This is 1984. Alien, I think, was done 1980, 81. Aliens, I think, wasn't done until 85. So I don't think it had come out yet. So he wasn't really a household name. And Apple Computer, although Apple Computer was around, it was kind of thought of as, my high school had a few Apple computers. We played Oregon Trail and some of that kind of stuff and Brickout on it. It was kind of a nothing. And a lot of people kind of confused that is 1984 the Orwellian spot talking about Microsoft and Bill Gates? No, it's not. It's actually talking about IBM. At that time, really nobody had any hold on the personal computer market, and obviously it was something that Apple wanted to tap into, and Macintosh was going to be it. And Macintosh was going to be the answer, and it became the answer. But just giving you that background, so this was really pointed at IBM. So there's an IBM Blue that's in here, and just brilliant all the way through. You thought it was a new movie that was coming out. I'm like, oh man, I got to see this. And you couldn't help, well, 1984, this is Orwell. I'm going to watch that movie. And then when it turned into, the hot chick swinging the sledgehammer in this thing, made you start, wait a second, I don't think this is a movie. What the hell is this? And so there was an intrigue factor that was brilliant. It was a 60-second spot, 59-second spot. Back then, there's no social campaign. There's nothing else to go along with this. It's got to make a Super Bowl hit. It was $1 million or bust. And so Jobs bet a bunch on it, and they spent $1 million to make it. And here's what you get.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of vain contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
So that, that was brilliant. And frankly, for me, it sort of changed my course of events. I was already on a path towards advertising design, but it sort of solidified, you know what, I would like to make that spot. I would like to make stuff like that. When I said at the start, A to B, my B was I'm going to make a Super Bowl spot. I have never made a Super Bowl spot. That's my confession to you. I went through C's, D's, E's, F's, and G's to go in a number of different directions. But I am here to tell you 40 years later, I have a really great life. I have a wife of 37 years. I've got 4 adult kids. I've got 3 dogs and an ornery cat. I live in a great house in a great community, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of make up my own rules as I go. In this spacious abode here, I've got a 10 by 20 foot office that's me, that I do my magic from. And I've been making a career out of this for a long, long time, and it's a good one. So I became comfortable in doing it a different way. But what's neat is I'm at the spot now where I only work with the clients that I really want to work with. I don't have to work. I sold my soul. I prostituted myself many times over early on just to get that paycheck, just to get the money, just to make the rent, to do that stuff. And now that's not the case. But so your life sometimes can shift, and that's a-okay. But if I still want to stay on the Super Bowl track, then I know the people who are doing it. I've got friends who have made Super Bowl spots, and I've actually got a couple of friends who are going to have Super Bowl spots this year in the game. So it's neat. One guy is actually turned into a voiceover man. So when you hear the Ram truck spot, that's my friend Chuck. But you know, it's an interesting profession, and I want to see you get the most out of it and tap into me. I'm going to tap into people that I know, and I hope that you'll tap into each other, because you would be surprised at just in the LinkedIn way. But what I was going to say about Skool over LinkedIn is when you ask questions in LinkedIn of people, you almost never get an answer, or at least you never get a real answer. In Skool, you're going to get an answer from like hotshot people. I've never seen it before. I'm in the school committee, and I go into other school committees, and I see who the stars are, and I set up a chat with them, and I do something, or I make a funny post and they like it, and then I see they like it, and I'll make some kind of comment. You know, I'll use my ad skills to make them laugh. I'll send a GIF that's smarter than the other guys sending the dorky GIF, and as a GIF, I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Somebody tell me. But I'll send something out, and I'll be darned if they don't send me a loom back with, hey, this is how you do this, Mike, and don't sweat it. It's slick as shit. And so get inside of this. Right now, we are early in it. And just so the last thing that you know, so that you're not alarmed by it or what's going to happen is, so we've got like 19, 20 people in here right now. I started to try to drive people to it, and then I was like, I'm not ready in the sense in this community of knowing exactly how I want it to go. I'm getting a lot closer to that. And so hopefully we're going to be building by leaps and bounds. And the business for me in this is I don't need it to make money, but who doesn't want it to make money? So frankly, what's going to happen is all of you who are in here right now, you're free for life, right? I made a little thing that I sent out to people and saying, hey, here's the Skool thing, and it's free for life. And what I put in the corner there, if you read it, my eyeballs are terrible, so I can't see anything. I said the first 100 members are getting it for free, and then it's going to go up to $27 a month to get what's inside of here and get access to you and to me and to others. And if I get 1,000 people in here at $27 a month, that's $27,000 a month recurring revenue. Hey, that's not bad, not half bad. So that's the business plan, if you will, of this. But the way that it's going to happen is I've got to deliver just great content. We need to deliver great content. And if that is intriguing to you and you want to know more about Skool, I've got another Skool community. I really think I think it's a thing. And so if you want to know more about it, ask me about it, and I'll be happy to tell you what I know. And be one of those guys that's a mentor to somebody else. It's like, all right, here's how you start your own community. Don't make these mistakes. I've already made a bunch of mistakes, but I'm still learning as I go. And there's some people in here who are making $100,000 a month, you know. So good luck to all of us in what we're doing. That closes it here tonight. That is 43 minutes. Sorry to go a little bit long, but I just wanted to set up this first podcast and let you understand what it's all about and how it's going to work. And if you're in here next time and you got legitimate questions about something, I'll do my best to answer it. And if I can't answer it, the cool thing about this is if I can't answer it, which is doubtful, but if I can't, I bet I know people who can, and I'll put you onto them, or I'll put them onto you. So that's kind of how it's going to go. We'll help each other, and you will move in your profession, in your title, in your money, in your hopefully in your life. You'll feel better about this because you're going to finally have access. Even if you're a student, you're going to have access to people who have done it, who have made it, or who are making it right now, and can tell you, you know, there's plenty of stuff that, because I haven't been inside somebody else's agency in a long, long time. I'm the Don Draper here from Mad Men, trying to tell you how it is, and somebody else will say that's not how it is anymore. Now I have an idea, I have my sources, but there's a lot of truth in that. You may look at it as like, hey, this is where you want to be, and AI and all the rest of it. So we'll tackle that together. I'll say goodnight to you now, and I will schedule when February's next meeting will be, a Zoom call, and I hope that you're going to jump on and be part of it. Hope to see you then. Take care.